introduce myself, I'm Mary Thorpe. I am John Thorpe's daughter, Jim Thorpe's granddaughter. It is a privilege to be here today to be talking with you all. You have to excuse me, this is my first time talking. My grandfather was such an amazing soul. He was just not an athlete. He had went through so many hardships in his lifetime. However, that did not dampen his spirit. If anything, it sparked a fire for life and adventures that Jim himself could have not imagined at the time. As a young boy, Jim's family lived in Oklahoma on the Sac and Fox Reservation. The family business was horses. Jim's father, Hiram, had trained him to break in the horses at a young age. It was said there was not a wild horse that Jim couldn't catch. Even at a young age, Jim enjoyed a good challenge. Jim would stay outside from sun up to sundown. He enjoyed hunting, fishing, camping, and riding horses. He also used to love playing follow the leader. Jim, with a couple of his friends, would play the game, race the horses down the pasture to a patch of cedar trees. With Jim in the lead, he would climb up to the top of a cedar tree, allowing it to bend down close enough to hop out of the tree, and then with both feet on the ground, he would race off to the North Canadian River. Swimming from bank to bank, as their feet hit the ground, they would run back to the cedar trees, jumping back up, coming back down. Jim would head back to the horses, jump over the horses, and back to the starting line. About 50 years ago, my father and ESPN had a star high school football player reenact the game. He rode the horses and climbed the tree. However, he had to be saved from the river because the currents were too strong. Jim was only 10 years old, playing this game of follow the leader with his friends. This was part of many of the stories that I was told as a child and that I'm still amazed by. Later on, Jim had attended boarding schools in both Oklahoma and Kansas. In those times, schools were different for Native American children. The school motto was to kill the Indian and save the man. With such harsh conditions for such a young child to struggle with the identity and his individuality, he ran to the safety of his home repeatedly. This led to Jim being shipped off to Carlisle Indian schools in Pennsylvania. With him being so far away from home, he needed to find an outlet to keep him grounded and to help with his harsh reality of life. He had turned to sports, and he was a natural. Once Jim found out that the sports was his saving grace, he never looked back and ultimately became the greatest athlete of the 20th century. All of this was possible because of his mind frame. He always believed he could. And if he failed, he would just try again until he was able to accomplish his goals. My grandfather knew the struggles of young Native American children, and he wanted to make a difference in keeping the dream alive for the youth. Before 1948, Jim had the idea of starting the Junior Olympics for our children, knowing how much sport played such a huge role in his life, and that maybe he would be able to do something for the younger generation, as they had did for him. Jim knew everyone would be equal and should be able to play whatever their hearts had told them, even if the child believed that he or she could, they would. This is just a few things about my grandfather, Jim, that I've kept with me and will continue sharing his dreams and goals for a better world. Thank you all for coming.
Padamia, that's thank you in the Dakota Sioux language. Mary, you gotta stay up here real quick. We are very blessed to have you here. I know you had to travel a couple hours to get up here, and very fortunate for your speech. You know, you get to represent Jim Thorpe in a great way. So on behalf of the American Indian Working Group, Chiefs Organization, myself, we want to gift you with some sage-grass, tobacco, and your own personalized jersey. Again, Potawatomi, Mary.